Rabbi Shiner made a comment about the temperature, and I need to assure you there are two types of warmth. There's warmth from without, that which is external, and there's warmth from within, and there's a great deal of warmth here in this tent. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov to Rabbi Shiner, Rebbetzin Shiner. Mazel Tov to each and every one of you. This is a great day. For all of you sitting here, it's a great day for the Jewish community in Boulder and the outlying areas. And it's a great day for all of the Jews. This is terrific. The sages tell us that each place of prayer and learning is a mikdash ma'at, which means that it's a small sanctuary, a small temple. And that it will come a time with the final redemption that each and every place of prayer and learning will travel. It will be uprooted from its place and will be supplanted in Artseinu HaKadosha, in Eretz Yisrael and Israel, of that sanctuary, that great temple that we so long for. Right now we see a tent and we see snow on the ground. There's no building here. But I assure you that from this point on, this has become hallowed ground. This has become a place which will, in the future, become part and parcel of that final redemption. And each one of you who are part of this will be a part of that as well. When Moshe Rabbeinu first approached the burning bush, he was told, Shal na'alecha ma'al raglecha, remove your shoes from your feet, ki admas kodesh, because you're standing on hallowed ground. So if everybody would please, Hashem should bench all of you. Hashem should bench this great project. We all be part of it, observe, and participate in this edifice to come. And may we all be affected thereby. May we rise, may we continue to grow, strengthen our Judaism, continue to bring pleasure to Hashem, to God, and may we merit the final redemption sooner.
Okay, getting closer to the actual groundbreaking. It's our final speech, and it's a true pleasure for me to call my brother Moshe, Rabbi of Palm Beach Synagogue, who, as Mendy mentioned before, has been with us on countless conference calls for the building committee, and also has not only sufficed with words. I want to tell you a little anecdote that I just read. Sorry, rabbis can't stop talking. It's a big problem we have. If you read in the media, a few weeks ago, the Prime Minister of Canada was in Israel. One of the greatest friends of Israel is Prime Minister Harper. And he brought with him a delegation of rabbis and community leaders of Canada. Amongst them he brought 12 Chabad rabbis. And they had dinner. Prime Minister Harper gave a big speech at the Knesset, which made waves throughout the world. If you read about it, one of the most pro-Israel speeches ever given by a head of state. And then they had dinner with the Prime Minister and the whole delegation. Prime Minister Netanyahu had a very deep relationship with the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And cherishes that relationship very much and talks about it a lot. But one of the things the Rebbe told him was, Prime Minister Netanyahu started off as an ambassador to the United Nations. And the Rebbe said that the United Nations is a house of darkness. Although at other times the Rebbe praised the United Nations, but we know that at times the United Nations could be very anti-Israel. And Rebbe said, but don't be afraid of darkness, because we have something called light. You take a little candle, and all of a sudden the darkness becomes transformed. And Rebbe said, that's your job, to bring that light, that little candle, in the United Nations. And Prime Minister Netanyahu always recites that story, and at this dinner he also recited this story. And then he told Prime Minister Harper, he said, your speech in the Knesset today, you lit a candle in the world. And Prime Minister Harper responded to Prime Minister Netanyahu. He said, you know something? To light a candle, it's not enough to give a speech. You have to do something also. Netanyahu responded, he's already speaking like a Lubavitcher. My brother Maishi not only speaks, but we had someone from Boulder who moved to Florida, and my brother Maishi solicited, the lead gift for this building was solicited through my brother Maishi, and I'm sure he'll film into this project. It's my honor to call my dear brother Maishi.
Mazel tov, and thank you for welcoming me to this wonderful celebration. And everyone has been very inspired by Mendy's dedication to his parents. After all, it's one of the 10 Commandments, honor your father and mother. But our rabbis tell us that the Torah says, Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha, and the extra word et comes to include your older brother. So that's what the rabbis teach us. So just like Mendy is bound by the commandment to honor his father and mother, I am also bound by that commandment. I would always honor and respect my older brother, because I have a great deal of gratitude to him. We're only 2 years apart. But not only did he have a influence on my life growing up, but the whole direction of my life and my family's life has been shaped by Pesach and Chani. Now, Palm Beach is a place at the time that had never had an Orthodox synagogue. A matter of fact, until this very day, 2014, there are a number of clubs on the island of Palm Beach that are restricted clubs that don't allow Jews to join. The Breakers Hotel, which is the most prominent hotel maybe in all of Florida, which is 2 blocks from our synagogue, had a sign until 1970 that barred Jews from staying there. And when Jeffrey and Audrey came to town, they knew of me through Pesach, and they invited me to help them start a minyan, and today we have a thriving community. And so our community was built on the back of your community, and on the back of the hard work of Pesach and Chani. They tell a story. There was this town. The fire was raging out of control, and the local fire department couldn't put out the fire. And so they called all the fire departments in the neighboring areas to come help put out. See from a distance this old fire truck coming towards the flames of this burning factory. And they see it's the local volunteer, retired, old gentlemen over 65, and they have this old truck. And they come running up to the fire, and so bravely they go right into the belly of the fire, where no other fire truck dared to go, and they jump off the truck, all these retired firemen, they start battling this flame with all the gusto, and within an hour the fire is put out. And the town was so appreciative, and the mayor has a big celebration, and he presents the $10,000 check to the head of the local, and he says to the head of the fire department, tell me, what are you going to do with this check? And he said, well, the first thing we're going to do is use it to fix those lousy brakes on our fire truck. Now, in Boulder, you experience not a fire, but a flood. Most people run away from a flood. But Chabad of Boulder ran into the flood to help others. The opening words of Jewish law begin with the following words. Yehuda ben Tema Omer, Judah the son of Tema says, Hevi'az kanemer, be as bold as a leopard. Being bold is the opening command, the opening instruction of all of Jewish law, because to be a Jew you have to be bold. And so our rabbis begin Code of Jewish Law with the statement, be as bold as a leopard. That's pretty bold in a time of a flood to not flee, but to bring in people to come and reach out to people who are stranded in their homes or in their... However, there is a Yiddish Hasidic saying that says, as gut is besser nish besser, which means if good is better, not better. And so to paraphrase, if bold is bolder, not better. God willing, be on this hallowed ground, as the rabbi said, and celebrate the erection of a new Chabad house, a new center for Jewish life here in Boulder. Yesterday we had the conclusion of the book of Exodus, which discussed the building of the Mishkan. And what does it say? The divine presence filled the Mishkan. And what was the sign that the divine presence filled the Mishkan? The cloud came and hovered above the Mishkan, the tabernacle. And I always thought, why a cloud? Why is a cloud a sign of the divine presence? But today I understand it. Because clouds carry rain, flooding. But the message is that behind the clouds is the sunshine. And after the clouds part, the rays of sunlight will shine forth. And that's what this community is doing. After the flooding, after the clouds that drenched this community, now the sunshine will come out and a beautiful center, a beautiful edifice will be built. Our rabbis, when they talk about the Mishkan, use the following analogy. Rabbis say there was a king who had a one and only daughter, and he loved her more than anything else in the world. And one day a suitor came, fell in love with her and proposed to marry her. But there was one problem. This man lived in a far away country. And so he tells the king, I need to take your daughter home to me, with me, to my country. And so the king says to this young man, it's very hard for me to part with my beloved daughter. I'll let you take her to marry her and move back with you to your country, but under one condition. And that is that you build me a room in your home. The Medrash says that when Moshe went to get the Torah at Sinai from God, God said, how can I give away my beloved daughter the Torah? But on one condition, that wherever you take her, you build a room for me so I can come and be with her. And that's what the building of a synagogue is. Wherever we take the Torah, we build a Jewish community, and we build a home for God to come and be with us and to be with His beloved daughter, the Torah, and His beloved children. And so, in conclusion, let me just bless you all with the blessing that may you go forth with strength as you have up until now. And you know, when a baby's born, we recite the following blessing. We say, Zahab katan gadol yiyeh. May this little infant become big. But today the blessing is reversed. May this big building that you're planning become small. Too small to contain all of the growth and all of the activities and all of the attendance that will take place in this new building. And may you have to add additional wings and additional floors, and may this be a great source of light for this community. And let me conclude with a story. The Lubavitcher Rebbe is the one who sent my brother Pesach and Chani to Boulder. And I remember when they left, and they tell the following story about the Rebbe. And when the Rebbe was a little child, him and his friends were once playing out in the yard.